We often imagine Golden Age Hollywood stars as icons of wealth and luxury, but not all lived out their lives in fortune. In this third part of our series, 19 Golden Age actors who died in poverty, we uncover the stories of actors whose later years were shaped by hardship and financial strain. Join us as we delve into the lesser-known side of Hollywood, where fame and fortune weren't always as lasting as the silver screen suggested. Barbara Lamar. Known as the Too Beautiful Girl of the silent film era, Barbara Lamar was a captivating presence in Hollywood during the 1920s. Rising to fame in films like The Three Musketeers and The Prisoner of Zenda, Lamar's beauty and talent quickly made her a sought-after actress. However, her life was marked by excess, and her lifestyle eventually took a toll on both her health and finances. Lamar was notorious for living a fast-paced life, often saying she only slept 2 hours a night. This constant lifestyle, filled with parties, heavy drinking, and substance abuse, left her physically and financially drained. Her lavish spending habits, combined with her reliance on drugs to sustain her energy, led to severe health complications. By her late 20s, she was already struggling with addiction and physical decline. Despite her popularity, Lamar's finances were poorly managed, leaving her with little savings. She reportedly spent her earnings as quickly as she made them, with little thought for the future. At the time of her death in 1926, Lamar was only 29 years old and nearly penniless. Her death was attributed to tuberculosis and nephritis, conditions exacerbated by her lifestyle choices. In her final days, she was reportedly supported by friends and colleagues who helped with her medical expenses. Peg Entwistle. Peg Entwistle, a British-born actress known for her brief career in Hollywood, is often remembered for her tragic life and untimely death. Entwistle began her acting career on Broadway, earning acclaim for her stage performances, but struggled to transition to the big screen. She moved to Los Angeles in hopes of finding success in film, but only managed to secure a small role in 13 Women. The film's release was delayed, and her role was largely edited out, making her Hollywood debut disappointing. Her career setbacks were compounded by personal and financial struggles. As she faced the pressures of Hollywood, Entwistle's financial situation worsened, and she was reportedly struggling to support herself. She found it difficult to secure work, and without steady income, her hopes of making it in Hollywood dwindled. Depression set in, fueled by her financial instability and professional disappointments. On September 16, 1932, at the age of 24, Peg Entwistle left this world in a tragic incident. At the time of her death, Entwistle was reportedly penniless, without significant savings or assets. Marie Dressler. Marie Dressler, an Oscar-winning actress and one of the biggest stars of early Hollywood, experienced a remarkable rise to fame, only to face financial challenges later in life. Known for her comedic talent and memorable performances in films like Min and Bill and Dinner at 8, Dressler's popularity skyrocketed during the Great Depression, making her one of MGM's highest-paid stars. However, her financial success was short-lived due to a series of unfortunate circumstances. Despite her earnings, Dressler was generous to a fault, often helping out friends and supporting those less fortunate during the economic downturn. She also had minimal financial management, which led to difficulties later in life. As her health began to deteriorate due to cancer, her ability to work and earn a steady income declined rapidly. In her final years, Dressler's medical expenses drained her savings, leaving her financially strained. At the time of her death in 1934, Dressler's net worth had reportedly dwindled significantly, with little wealth remaining from her once successful career. Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi, immortalized by his portrayal of Dracula, experienced a heartbreaking decline into poverty. Despite achieving fame in the horror genre, Lugosi found himself typecast, limiting his roles to eerie characters that gradually lost their appeal as Hollywood's tastes evolved. His career slowed, and as the roles dwindled, so did his income. Struggling to maintain his standard of living, Lugosi faced financial mismanagement, leaving him with little savings to fall back on in his later years. Adding to his difficulties was a crippling addiction to morphine, initially used to manage pain from a leg injury. This dependency drained his finances further and tarnished his reputation, making it even harder to find work. In his final years, Lugosi was nearly destitute, living in humble circumstances, and reportedly seeking financial help from fans to survive. At the time of his death in 1956, Lugosi's net worth was estimated to be less than $1,000. Lou Costello. Lou Costello, famed for his role as one half of the comedy duo Abbott, and Costello, rose to Hollywood stardom with hits like Buck Privates and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. At the peak of his career, Costello earned millions, yet his financial success was short-lived. Costly legal disputes, poor investments, and a lavish lifestyle rapidly drained his earnings. Costello's spending habits were significant, and his approach to finances lacked the foresight needed to preserve his wealth. Personal tragedy also marked Costello's life. In 1943, he lost his infant son in a drowning accident, an event that left him deeply affected and may have influenced his later life choices. Additionally, he faced IRS issues that led to legal battles and large tax bills, further straining his financial situation. By the time of his death at age 52 in 1959, Costello's net worth had dwindled to an estimated $500,000, a fraction of what he once had. The combination of legal troubles, high spending, and emotional struggles contributed to Costello's financial decline. Although beloved by fans, his story reflects the harsh reality of Hollywood fame, where even high earnings can vanish quickly without proper financial management, leaving stars like Costello with far less than expected in their final years. Gail Russell. Gail Russell was a beautiful and talented actress best known for roles in films like Angel and the Bad Man and The Uninvited. She faced a tragic end marked by financial and personal struggles. Known for her shyness and introverted personality, Russell struggled with the pressures of Hollywood, which led her to rely on alcohol to cope with anxiety and stage fright. Her addiction eventually became public, causing her professional reputation to suffer as she missed work and appeared erratic on set. As her career declined, so did her finances. Despite her initial success, Russell's struggle with alcoholism led to numerous legal issues, including car accidents and arrests, which further strained her finances. By the late 1950s, she was nearly blacklisted by Hollywood studios, finding it increasingly difficult to secure roles. Her savings dwindled, and she was eventually forced to rely on small television roles and occasional work. But this income was inconsistent and insufficient to maintain her lifestyle. When she passed away in 1961 at the age of 36, Russell was reportedly in near poverty, living alone in a modest apartment. Linda Darnell. Linda Darnell, once celebrated for her stunning beauty and memorable roles in classics like Forever Amber, faced a tragic end marked by financial hardship. Known for her glamorous image in Hollywood's golden age, Darnell's career took a downward turn after her contract with 20th Century Fox ended in 1952. The decline of her career was swift as Hollywood's preferences shifted, leaving Darnell struggling to find substantial film roles. Personal issues compounded her struggles. She faced a turbulent life marked by an abusive marriage and battles with alcoholism, which further destabilized her life and finances. With her income dwindling, Darnell took on various jobs to sustain herself. By the mid-1960s, she was performing as a nightclub singer, touring with summer theater troupes, and even accepting supporting roles on television. These jobs, though a testament to her resilience, highlighted her desperate need to work to make ends meet, a far cry from her earlier stardom. Her career, which once promised wealth and stability, left her nearly destitute in her later years, reportedly relying on friends for support. In 1965, at just 41, Darnell's life came to a heartbreaking end when she tragically died in a house fire. Her financial struggles were emblematic of the harsh realities many stars faced once the spotlight faded. Edie Sedwick. Edie Sedwick, a socialite, actress, and one of Andy Warhol's most famous muses, is remembered for her striking presence in the 1960s art scene and the tragic circumstances that surrounded her life and death. Born into a wealthy family, Sedgwick initially had financial security, but her introduction to Warhol's factory and the whirlwind of fame that followed led her down a dark path of substance abuse and mental health struggles. Sedwick became a star in Warhol's experimental films, captivating audiences with her beauty and charisma. However, her fast-paced lifestyle, coupled with heavy drug use, began to affect her health and finances. She spent exorbitantly on drugs and lavish living, eventually exhausting her trust fund and inheritance. As her relationship with Warhol soured and her popularity waned, she struggled to find work outside of the factory, leaving her with few means of income. By the late 1960s, Sedwick was battling addiction, relying on friends and family for financial support as her health deteriorated. After a series of failed attempts at recovery, she passed away in 1971 at the age of 28 from an overdose, reportedly with little to no assets remaining. Her tragic ending highlighted the dangers of fame, addiction, and financial instability, especially for those who became famous without a stable support system. Ed Wood. Ed Wood, best known as a cult filmmaker behind movies like Plan 9 from Outer Space, faced financial instability throughout his life. Despite his passion for filmmaking, Wood struggled to secure adequate funding for his projects, often working with extremely low budgets. His films were poorly received during his time, dismissed as so bad they're good cult classics, which left him unable to earn a steady income. Financial mismanagement and a lack of mainstream success kept Wood in a constant state of poverty, forcing him to take on odd jobs, including writing pulp novels and adult films. In his later years, Wood's alcoholism worsened, affecting his ability to work consistently. He and his wife were evicted from their apartment, and by the time of his death in 1978, Wood was living in near poverty, struggling to make ends meet. At the age of 54, he died of a heart attack, reportedly with only a few dollars to his name. Ed Wood's life exemplifies how a lack of critical and financial recognition during one's career can lead to dire financial circumstances, even for a filmmaker with lasting cultural impact. Shan Flynn. Shan Flynn, son of Hollywood legend Errol Flynn, initially pursued a career as an actor, but soon shifted his focus to photojournalism. Known for his daring spirit, Flynn covered dangerous assignments during the Vietnam War, capturing conflict zones and risking his life for powerful images. However, his career in journalism provided limited financial stability, and he struggled to maintain a secure income. His dedication to covering the war led him into high-risk situations with minimal financial reward. In 1970, while on assignment in Cambodia, Flynn disappeared and was presumed to have been captured or killed, though his body was never recovered. At the time of his disappearance, Flynn was reported to have minimal wealth, as his career had been more about passion than profit. His story is a haunting example of how the pursuit of a cause or career outside of traditional Hollywood can leave even the children of famous stars with little financial security. Darla Hood. Darla Hood, the beloved child star of Our Gang, also known as the Little Rascals, charmed audiences in the 1930s. Although she enjoyed fame at a young age, her success did not carry over into adulthood, and she struggled to find substantial roles as she grew older. While she managed some work in entertainment, including small singing gigs and voice acting, her career never returned to the heights of her childhood fame. This limited her income, and she faced financial pressures, relying on minor work to support herself and her family. Hood's later life was marked by health issues, and she ultimately passed away unexpectedly at age 47 due to complications from an appendectomy. At the time of her death, her financial situation was modest, as her fame as a child star had not provided lasting financial security. Her story highlights how early success in Hollywood could fade, leaving former stars with limited means and few resources in adulthood. Seberg. Seberg, a celebrated actress famous for her role in Breathless and involvement in political activism, faced significant personal and financial struggles in her later years. Her outspoken activism and support for civil rights led to FBI surveillance and a smear campaign, damaging her reputation and limiting her career opportunities in Hollywood. Seberg's mental health declined due to this harassment, and she struggled with depression, which, combined with professional setbacks, left her financially strained. Living mostly in Paris, Seberg faced a dwindling career and mounting costs from legal fees and health care. By the time of her death in 1979 at age 40, she was reportedly in debt and isolated. Her passing was ruled a probable suicide, though some theories point to the pressures from her surveillance and declining mental health. Seberg's tragic end highlights the financial and emotional toll that blacklisting and political persecution could exact on a once prominent actress. David Jansen. David Jansen, star of The Fugitive, enjoyed significant success during his career, but his life was marred by financial pressures. Known for his demanding work schedule and multiple marriages, Jansen faced considerable expenses, including alimony and high living costs. Though he earned a substantial income during his peak, much of it was consumed by his lifestyle and financial obligations. Jansen's health began to deteriorate in his 40s due to heavy drinking and an intense workload, which affected his earnings and forced him to cut back on roles. When he passed away suddenly from a heart attack in 1980 at age 48, his financial situation was reported to be modest. Although he was a popular TV actor, his lifestyle and high expenses had left him with significantly less wealth than one might expect for a star of his stature. His story underscores the financial challenges that even well-known actors could face when personal and professional demands became overwhelming. Peter Lawford. Peter Lawford was once known for his charm, talent, and roles in films like Ocean's 11. Yet despite his Hollywood connections and success, Lawford's life ended in financial struggle, far from the wealth and glamour he enjoyed at his peak. His lifestyle, marked by heavy drinking, multiple marriages, and lavish spending, quickly drained his resources. As his career began to wane in the 1970s, Lawford struggled to sustain his previous income and faced mounting financial difficulties. At the time of his death in 1984, Lawford's net worth was modest compared to his earlier years. Estimates of his remaining wealth vary, with sources suggesting it ranged between $100,000 and $150,000, though some believe it could have been closer to $1 million. Regardless, this was a far cry from the wealth he had once enjoyed. His financial decline was exacerbated by costly divorces and a series of unsuccessful business ventures. Additionally, his battle with substance abuse affected his reputation and earnings, limiting his ability to revive his career as he aged. Gloria Graham. Gloria Graham, an Academy Award-winning actress known for her roles in The Big Heat and The Bad and the Beautiful, faced financial hardship toward the end of her life. Known for her sultry screen presence, Graham's career was cut short by Hollywood scandals and personal issues, including multiple tumultuous marriages. As her roles in major films dwindled, Graham took on lower-paying theater work and small television parts to support herself. In her final years, Graham was diagnosed with breast cancer, but she refused conventional treatment due to financial limitations and fear of surgery. Her declining health made it harder for her to work, leaving her in dire financial straits. She returned to England to perform in small theater productions, trying to make a living despite her illness. When she passed away in 1981 at age 57, Graham's financial situation was modest, with little left from her Hollywood success. Her story is a reminder of how fame can be fleeting, and without consistent income, even celebrated stars can end up facing financial instability in their final years. Jackie Kugan. Jackie Kugan, one of Hollywood's first child stars, rose to fame in the silent film era with The Kid, acting alongside Charlie Chaplin. He earned millions during his youth, but his financial future was compromised when his mother and stepfather spent most of his earnings on lavish living. By the time Kugan reached adulthood, nearly all his money had been squandered, and he had to take legal action against his mother to regain a portion of his lost wealth. This legal battle led to the Kugan Act, which set protections for child actors' earnings. Despite winning the lawsuit, Kugan's financial situation remained strained, and he had to rebuild his career from scratch. Although he later found success on television as Uncle Fester in The Addams Family, the income he earned was modest compared to his earlier fame. Kugan struggled with finances throughout his life and continued working into his later years to make ends meet. His financial challenges and the loss of his childhood fortune highlight the financial exploitation many child stars faced, leaving them with little security in adulthood. Lana Turner. Lana Turner, an iconic Hollywood star known for films like The Postman Always Rings Twice and Peyton Place, experienced both fame and financial turmoil throughout her life. Turner earned substantial wealth during her career, but her lavish lifestyle, legal troubles, and numerous marriages drained her finances. She was married 8 times, and several of her divorces resulted in costly settlements and alimony payments. Turner was also known for her high spending on luxurious homes, clothes, and jewelry, which left her with significant debts as her career began to decline. In her later years, Turner's health deteriorated, and her once steady income from films and television dwindled. She eventually downsized her lifestyle and attempted to manage her debts, relying on residuals and smaller film roles to support herself. By the time of her death in 1995 at age 74, Turner's wealth had greatly diminished from its peak, as her extravagant spending habits and personal challenges had taken a significant financial toll. Her story underscores how fame and wealth can quickly be lost without careful management, leaving even the most glamorous stars financially strained. David Carradine. David Carradine, known for his roles in Kung Fu and Kill Bill, led a life marked by financial ups and downs despite his Hollywood legacy. Carradine's career spanned decades, but his finances were impacted by a series of personal challenges, including multiple divorces, legal troubles, and struggles with substance abuse. His eccentric lifestyle and unpredictable behavior affected his reputation and limited his ability to secure consistent, high-paying roles in his later years. In his final years, Carradine took on various low-budget films to support himself, often accepting minor roles to cover his expenses. At the time of his death in 2009, he left behind significant debts and limited savings, despite his long career. Carradine's financial struggles were exacerbated by high personal expenses and a lack of stable income, leaving him with far less wealth than one might expect for a seasoned actor. His story illustrates how financial instability can persist even for actors with lengthy careers, especially when personal and legal issues drain their resources. Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett, a beloved actress and model best known for Charlie's Angels, faced significant financial challenges toward the end of her life, largely due to extensive medical expenses. Fawcett was a major star in the 1970s, commanding high salaries and enjoying considerable wealth. However, her later years were marked by her battle with cancer, a fight that involved costly treatments and international travel to seek alternative therapies. Despite her fame, the substantial expenses tied to her illness gradually diminished her financial resources. As her health declined, Fawcett was unable to work, which further strained her finances. She passed away in 2009, reportedly with reduced wealth compared to her earlier years, as her health struggles and related costs had taken a toll on her savings. Her financial challenges highlighted the reality that medical expenses could significantly impact even those who once held considerable wealth, leaving them with limited resources at the end of their lives.